Everybody to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
Ooh, the parlay pounder.
You got it. We're back.
Oh, my God. And you got to be in seventh heaven, cloud nine. I mean, how do they say that now?
It's just something that hasn't happened in 20 years. The Twins are on to the second round of the playoffs. It's a historical night for me, and with my fandom, as you know, for the Minnesota Twins, I'm sitting pretty high right now.
So we had to bring in the big guns.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's not just you. We got the Marissa Voss.
Yes.
Hailing from Minnesota.
Woo!
Absolutely.
Over there at Hurrdat Sports, doing your thing, right?
I am. I'm so happy you guys asked me to go, and just like we said, the Twins won.
Yes.
This is huge and great timing because I'm jacked. I'm through the roof. I don't even know. I was sitting over at DJ's and I was like, I don't even know how to feel. I was driving over here. I'm like, I don't even know how to encompass this. But yeah, over at Hurrdat Sports, doing a lot of great things, and now everybody's gonna hear me talk nonstop about Minnesota Twins. So
there it is. Finally, we bring somebody that's on my side of the team, Andy.
Yeah.
Usually just bashers coming at me about the parlays and everything.
Yeah.
Finally got a Minnesota Twins fan on the air.
Well,
Let's go.
Absolutely.
You know, that's just kind of how Twitter or X kind of works. You know, you put something out there and they just sit there and wait for something to not go your way.
Worst.
We hear a lot about
toxic. Toxic.
I'm like, do you understand what has to happen for a 5-leg parlay to land?
A lot.
Do you really get it?
lot.
But
I like to call them keyboard Karens.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you don't understand. You're just sitting there like, this is gonna
this
go.
guy lost,
I'm like,
this guy
shut
lost.
up. Exactly.
So to kind of put a bow on it here, the Twins swept the Blue Jays.
Woo.
The 3 seed took care of business, beat the 4 seed in the the 6 seed Blue Jays. Total was set at 8 runs. Obviously, that went way under. Sonny Gray took care of business through the shutout. Former Oakland Athletic.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. That's how it goes.
Duran got the save.
Yep.
Johan Duran.
Johan.
So, and at the time of the opening pitch, I believe the Twins were a minus 145 favorite. You go back to game 1, man, that game had everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Plays at the plate, Royce hitting a couple dingers for you. And you could feel that tension, that drama that only playoff baseball brings. From the first inning to the 9th, I watched the whole thing, and in that 8th inning, we were on our way out to the studio. I was like, man, when Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit that leadoff double, no outs, and a guy on second base, I'm like, here it comes.
Here we go.
Here it goes.
Yeah, as a Minnesota Twins fan, you get accustomed to things like this. We get up in a game because we usually do have pretty dang good teams or whatever, but it just. If something's going to happen, it's going to happen late. And, we usually don't have the bullpen or the pitching to back it up and everything.
Sure.
This team is different. It really is different.
Yes.
Oh, it is.
The Minnesota, the top half of the team here really went out and got some pitchers this year. We got Pablo, we got Sonny Gray, we got Bailey Ober. We got a whole bunch of these guys that can go deep into games. And then what's always missing is that back half of the pitching staff, and we got it this year. Like you said, we got Duran that throws over 100 on every single one of his pitches, and he's got a cooking curveball that is a strikeout pitch. So it's all lining up for the Twins right now, and I really do like their chances against the Houston Astros coming this weekend.
So Marissa, he hit on a few points there. Do you believe in this bullpen then? Because the back half of it, is there enough to win? You won the best of 3. You won the 2-game series here in the, let's call it a bunny bracket, the wild card, whatever it is. Now you're squaring off with who won the AL West in the Astros. Do you have enough?
I do. I mean, you haven't even seen Joe Ryan, right? You haven't even seen some of the guys exactly. You haven't even seen Kenta. These guys. What I'm really excited about in Game 2 is Jax, is Stewart. Are you kidding me? Okay. Louis Varland, when he came in, it was okay. He did what he had to do, right?
Yeah.
But with Stewart in the 7th inning, just absolutely shutting it down. Those are the guys that need to step up, and they're believing in it. And the reason why they're believing in it is because the fans were cheering. Right? They gave them hope. They gave them something to believe in. I think that we have a bullpen, and I think that we're going to make it through. Also, just overall, it's different.
Yeah.
Because defensively, oh my God, in first game and second game, that was the difference. Yeah, Royce Lewis popped off in the first game, and then we have a couple RBIs from Carlos Correa hitting Royce Lewis.
C4.
But defensively, we have been lights out through the first 2 games, and that's what's going to make the difference. If we can figure out offensively how to hit a couple more dingers and not rely on our rook as much, we'll be great.
As good as Royce Lewis is, we have to understand that he's a rookie. These are huge spots in his first appearance in the playoffs. But we got to get our guys. Max Kepler, Jorge Polanco are veteran guys that have been here before, in big games before, to step up and get some RBIs for us. Really, one thing I really want to touch on, Andy, is everybody's talking to me. I already hear the chirping.
Oh, really?
About Houston being these world beaters. And they were taking on water. They just beat Texas by 1 game to get into this bye weekend. So I don't think they're as big a world beaters as everybody's trying to tell me. Like, they're these World Series champions, all this kind of stuff. A lot of these people aren't here from these World Series
they're former champions.
Now, they do have the big 4. They got Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Alvarez, and Kyle Tucker, who can make up for a lot of that. And those are 4 really, really good players. But I just don't believe that even their starting rotation, even with Justin Verlander and Valdez, that they have enough to go a long series. So if they do not get the first 2 games in Houston, I'm putting this as a lock for the Minnesota Twins to win this series because of our rotation. Because we have 5 guys that can go day in, day out as some of the best starters in baseball.
See Marissa over there saying, let's go.
Well,
I'm so excited.
The stats
I'm
prove
literally so
themselves.
excited.
We were #1 in strikeouts this year in all of Major League. So we have the pitchers to do this as long as our bats can get going because it's going to take more than 3 runs to beat the Houston Astros. It's going
to, to kind of get on board with you here, the Twins only lost 3 less games. I mean, they won 87 total games. Houston only won 90 games on the season. So it's not like that big of a difference. There's no discrepancy there
exactly.
in my mind. And I get it. The Twins came from a lesser division, I guess. And, the Mariners might have won 1 or 2 more games and did make the playoffs, but that's why you got to win your division.
You got to win your division.
That happens in football, baseball, every year. And I don't want to hear it. Win your division. That's all there is to it.
Exactly.
And then with Houston, it's not the same cast of characters, and you're preaching to the choir because I went heavy on their pitching staff in fantasy baseball, and that's what people love to hear about is your fantasy team. I think I got second to last.
You did. Yeah, it wasn't a good year for Andy's team.
It wasn't a good team.
No,
it wasn't a good year.
It wasn't. Thanks a lot, Houston.
Well, I'm just saying, Andy, and the way that you look at this matchup, you can tell the odds makers aren't overly for Houston either.
No.
They come in as a -170 favorite with the Twins being a +140 underdog. That's pretty straight up.
That is.
Especially when you get the first 2 games in Houston. So I don't believe that a lot of people think that this is a foregone conclusion that the Astros are going to win this. And I think it makes sense looking at roster to roster. It looks pretty straight up to me.
Like all playoff baseball, basketball, you got to steal one on the road. Marissa, can they do that?
I think so. I mean, you have seen that it's different, right? The hashtag We Believe in TC.
Yeah.
Everything surrounding this team just feels different this year. And I think it's extremely possible to grab one on the road, especially if you have on Saturday, we're getting our starting rotation, right? We get a couple guys in. We get Joe Ryan off to a hot start. Maeda is believing in it. We're definitely going to take one. And if we take one away...
Definitely.
We're definitely going to take one away. And if we do, and when we take that over to Target Field, you've seen.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize when they were watching the game, I could hear the fans. I don't think the fans sat down. It was loud. It was crazy. I have never seen Target Field or the Metrodome like that in my years, and I'm 26 years old. So it's different.
It was right before you
exactly
that it was happening.
Exactly.
But I totally agree with what you're saying. But it's going to come down to, Andy, and this whole thing, the whole grand scheme of thing is going to be Minnesota pitching versus the star-studded lineup with the Houston Astros. Something that I really want to point out, that we might get a boost on offense with a returning Byron Buxton. If Byron Buxton comes back in this series and is good enough to bat, he is one of those sluggers that can really put a stamp for Minnesota in the middle of that lineup. So I really like Buxton hitting right behind Carlos Correa because it makes them pitch to Correa and makes them really.
They would make Buxton be the DH because I think a lot of folks that don't follow Minnesota on the reg like you guys do. Wasn't that game 1 where a home run was stolen?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, it's Buxton doing his thing. Oh, it wasn't.
No,
that
wasn't.
No,
it's Taylor.
It was Taylor.
Playing.
Yeah,
Michael A. Taylor. That's who I wanted to talk about. Kind of like,
yeah,
he has been phenomenal. I think a lot of people when we picked him up were like, who, what, and he's been amazing.
Yeah,
he is. Like just coming into that role in center, and he's getting everything, diving plays and stealing, things that could be obviously the home run and everything else. So Michael Taylor,
just long plays to center field as well. He's stealing and coming up and stuff like that. But no, it's hard for Twins fans that don't follow a lot to just look at our lineup and say Byron Buxton's not in it. We don't have a chance.
Exactly,
because we're paying him so much money, and rightfully so. But no, I really believe just with the offensive boost that we'll get with Buxton, if he can come back in this series. He was real close to playing in this wild card. I think Rocco thought that we can get by this series without him. If he can get just a couple more days rest, couple more days healing.
You're at home. We're at home.
We're playing against the Blue Jays. But I really believe he's going to get activated, and I think it's going to be the boost that this Twins team needs to get past these Houston Astros.
And if you're looking at futures, Houston's right there behind the Atlanta Braves. They're at like a plus 400, plus 450. Yeah. You can still get the Twins at a plus 1,000. I just looked at the book before I went on the air, and I saw a plus 1,000, plus 750, depending where you're looking.
For sure.
I mean, and if I'm listening to you guys, I'm like, give me that plus 1,000.
Well, I mean, don't go crazy with it. Don't go crazy with it. Don't drop the mortgage on it.
Right?
Exactly. But no, I think we're a gritty team. Like I said, pitching, that's what it comes down to in playoff baseball, and then heroics at the end of the game by the hitters. It goes down to, can you keep the game close, and then the heroics at the end of the game. So I believe that we have the pitching rotation to do this. Will our veterans step up and score some runs for us?
One thing that makes me a little weary is Jorge Polanco at third base.
Yeah.
We saw him, in the first game mess up, and then Correa had to come from shortstop and make the absolutely insane play to home and then get tagged out. So then obviously the Blue Jays don't get momentum. But the same kind of thing, I saw him struggle in game 2 at third base, and obviously that's because Royce Lewis is DHing.
Yeah.
Obviously they don't want to stray him too much, but also Byron Buxton isn't in the lineup. Then there's a lot of missing pieces, but I think he just looks uncomfortable, and
not as natural.
Exactly. So that's the one thing. Hopefully we get Buxton back. Hopefully everything's back in order, and if so, then I do agree everything will fall into place. It's just he just looked so unnatural.
For
out
sure,
there.
He's a second baseman playing third base right now. So if we can get Ruiz, if it's not Royce Lewis playing third base like his natural position, that's the best for the Twins, and that's our best way to win.
Exactly.
Look out for the Twinkies.
Let's go.
Look out for the Twinkies.
Give me that plus 750.
Let's go.
Let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. We've been enjoying the smooth, easy drinking Ale Storm, the official beer of Omaha's AAA baseball team, crafted with Pilsner malt and Sterling hops, making it the perfect baseball beer. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.